AITA for telling my late dad's ILs that their granddaughter is not my responsibility? I'm 19 meters and my younger sister Kala 15F lives with me. Our dad and his wife died 3 months ago. Mine and Kala's mom died when we were younger. Dad and his wife had been married for 4 years. His wife had a daughter, Lacey, who is now 5. When CPS became involved because both were left orphans, I stepped up to take my sister. I was already working full-time since I skipped college and I just about had what I needed to take care of my sister. They asked me about Lacey and I told them I just wanted to take my sister. Lacey was placed with her grandparents, my dad's ILs. They became aware of the fact Kala came to live with me and that I had been offered the chance to take their granddaughter and refused. Once they learned this, they asked me why, and then pestered me about it for weeks. Finally they told me they were older and she could use as much family as possible and that she, Mrs. Kala, she wouldn't really remember me. I asked Kala if she wanted to see her and she said not really. So I told them we were not interested in staying in their granddaughter's life. They told me she's our little sister, that my dad would have wanted us to stick together. I told them I didn't care what my dad wanted. They said not to punish a child for the sins of my parent. I blocked them and continued on with things until they sought me out on social media via one of their older grandkids and told me that I should be ashamed of myself and their granddaughter deserves to be with her siblings and be raised by me since I'm young, fit and healthy and could run around after her like they can't, and will be around a lot longer than them. I replied once that their granddaughter is not my responsibility and that I wanted them to leave me and my sister alone, because we have no reason to be in touch ever again. That wasn't the end and they called me selfish and cruel a few times via another account. So I had to set my account to private to stop them. AITA? ETA. Making clear that Lacey was my dad's stepdaughter, not his daughter. ETA 2. I am a guy, not a girl. Just wanted to point that out because I have noticed a couple of people use the wrong pronouns for me and figured adding it here would help. ETA 3. Some info that keeps being asked. The bio dad is not on the scene. He could be dead but I really don't know. He never seemed to be in the picture though. He could also be unknown or something but there is no bio father involved. I also was not close to my dad. Neither was my sister. There was a lot of stuff involved there but I was no contact with him and everyone but my sister for more than a year before he and his wife died. So I had nothing to do with Lacey for more than a year. NTA. Your dad's in-laws are awful. Trying to pressure you when you're 19. You've just lost your father and you're already taking care of a 15-year-old. You're completely right. You're not responsible for the child and she's no longer any relation to you. You need to be able to get on with your life and taking care of someone else's 5-year-old would really restrict you. Stay strong and stand your ground. Best of luck. You are 19 years old. Taking care of a 15-year-old is a lot different than raising a 5-year-old. Sounds like Lacey isn't even related to you. NTA. Her relatives can work it out amongst themselves. Guilt-tripping a 19-year-old is beyond the pale. Wait, what? You're 19 and looking after your 15-year-old sister and they wanted you to take care of their 5-year-old granddaughter too? NTA. They need to figure out how to provide care for their granddaughter. NTA. You mentioned Lacey's grandparents have older grandkids. So why can't any of the other kids, grandkids, who are actually related to Lacey, take her in? Wouldn't it be in her best interest to be surrounded by real family? Yeah, NTA. An older sibling is fair enough. They are functional and just need a bit of big brother guidance through the next few years at most. Plus the odd kick up the ass when they think they're an adult. As well as yourself. At 19 is a hell of a responsibility to be taken on a 5-year while still just getting your foot out the door in the real world. Sorry the grandparents are inconvenienced by your decision, but they would be in a better position to deal with a young'un full time. Sorry for your loss. May the grind of life be less barbaric than what you've already had to endure. Taking morals out for a second, and just taking the logistics of it into account. A 15-year-old is a lot different than a 5-year-old. You're 19, and working. You're not even established fully into the adult world yet, and already taking care of one child. That's a lot, and probably the only reason why you're able to, because at 15, most teens are fairly independent, and don't require much supervision. But a 5-year-old needs constant supervision and child care. The costs alone would hurt you tremendously. That issue isn't as much for a 15-year-old. Logistically, taking care of a 15-year-old is a lot easier than a 5-year-old. Morally, you were always in the clear there. And I think you are a wonderful brother by taking care of your 15-year-old sister. NTA. If I understand correctly, Lacey was not your sibling. She was the daughter of your dad's wife from an earlier marriage. Why would you want to raise a kid that is not family? NTA. NTA. You're a 19-year-old guy and you've already stepped up to become a guardian for your younger sister. You've done a kind thing there. I feel super bad for little Lacey. She's an innocent little girl and she's lost both her parents. And, from her perspective, her big sister too. But, and it's a massive but, that little girl is not related to you and she's not your, or your sister's, responsibility. If you did take her in, it would impact on your life and your sister's life greatly. It would be a lifelong responsibility to take on a little girl. Your sister is different. She's a blood relative and 15. She can look after herself to a certain extent and certainly doesn't need to be watched the same way a 5-year-old would. Lacey's grandparents are massive ahs for trying to guilt you into taking Lacey in. Maybe one of the older grandkids could take her if they feel so strongly about this. You are NTA. I'm glad you blocked her grandparents. I wish you and your sister all the best. Edited to correct a mistake. NTA. Lacey is not your responsibility. NTA. You are young and you try your best to care for you, sis. Lacey is not blood related, and apart from that, asking a 19-year-old to take on 2 kids is unreasonable. NTA. I'm so sorry for your loss, Op. You are absolutely NTA. They're just looking for someone to take care of her because kids are not easy to look after. NTA. Caring for a 15-year-old is very different from caring for a 5-year-old. Where's Lacey's biodad and his family in all of this? I am curious. You were 15 when your dad married Lacey's mom. Were you kicked out? Why wouldn't Lacey remember you? NTA. Anyone pressuring you, and your first question should be, why don't you do it? Please block them on everything. It sounds weird though. Their daughter died and trying to get rid of a biological link to their daughter? Now that is cold. NTA. They expected you to adopt a little girl who you were not related to. And you said no. And they did not respect that. Wow. NTA. It is tough enough for a 19-year-old to take care of himself, possibly juggling education and earning a living. It is even harder to take care of his 15-year-old sister. But it is close to impossible to also take in a 5-year-old. It is very insensitive of the grandparents to even expect that if you'd be a full or half sibling. It is madness to expect it from an unrelated stranger. NTA. She's not your relative. NTA. It's fantastic and an incredible achievement. At 19. That you are able and willing to provide for Kala. As for your dad's ill, they simply just want to guilt trip you into caring for Lacey. So they don't have to, and they can go back to the child-free freedom they had gotten used to. NTA. You're so freaking young and already caring for your sibling. They shouldn't be even asking this of you. It's a huge commitment on every aspect of life, especially due to the age difference. It sounds just like they want to dodge their responsibility. ETA. Get in touch with CPS or any other authority to report their harassment if you need. You two already went through enough. It's not the kid's fault, but you are right to preserve yourselves. NTA. And if they have other grandkids, aren't they or their parents, i.e., Lacey's aunts, uncles, better suited to take care of her? I just don't understand why they aren't looking closer to home for this. In any case, looking after your 15-year-old sister at 19 is one thing. Looking after a 5-year-old that you barely know at 19 is something else. I cannot imagine that there aren't others in your stepmother's family who are in a better position for this. So sorry for your loss. And best of luck to both of you. NTA. You're 19, taking care of your little sister. You both suffered major losses, and taking care of a toddler shouldn't be out on you. I hope the best for you and your sis.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.